Welcome to the Cables, Lace, and Tails podcast. My name is Sue, and I am a maker from northwestern Wisconsin. Hello, and how's it going? First off, thank you for subscribing, thank you for liking, and thank you for watching my videos. I truly appreciate it, and let's get on into it. So I have some bad news. I have to redo some stuff on my stripe pipe sweater. As you saw in the B-roll footage of last time, and I took some B-roll of this time, and I'm going to try and figure all that part out. But as you can see, the sleeve is far too long. I think I show in the video that I should have stopped here and made the cuff. Well, I did that on this one. And in the footage you can see, and I have blocked this, so I know that it won't stretch any more than it already has. And it ends right here, exactly where I wanted to have it. So I know I said in my last video, it's fine, I'll live with it. It'll be nice to wear in the winter. It'll be warm outside. It's fine. I'm not changing it. And then I kept thinking, will I wear it as much if it's not fixed? Does it make me look good even though it makes me feel sloppy? It did. It made me feel sloppy, like I don't know what I'm doing. If I'm wearing this out in public, I want people to be like, oh, well, she knows what she's doing. She's making her own clothes, not like, look at her. Look at that crap she's wearing. That's what was going through my head. Anyway, so I decided to fix the arm, and I'm going to show you a little bit about my process. Now, as you can see, I have really woven in the ends so well. So I'm just going to show you what I would do. This is where it is. I'm going to take a snip. Oh, the first time I ever did this to any of my garments, it was awfully scary. And trying to save that bound off edge is nearly impossible. So I'm just going to snip around as I talk. So my cat really enjoyed this part because, you know, yarn. And she took all my little pieces. She was very happy with my destruction. Essentially, you have to destroy in order to fix. So I will tell you what I did as soon as I get around this other side. Am I a little sad? Yes. Did I waste time? Essentially, yes, because I made it too long. I should have realized from using this yarn before how much it stretches. But I didn't even think about it, to be perfectly honest. It didn't even cross my mind. I was just like, I'm going to make it like this, and it's going to fit, and it's going to be just fine. Oh, she found something else she likes of mine. No, thank you. Anyway, that's something else I'm going to show you later. So essentially, I have cut around, and now I'm going to find the main part of the yarn and start undoing, and then I'll have a lot of bit of fuzz and whatever. And I'll probably save this. People are like, why would you save it? Maybe I will give it to the birds. You know, put it outside so they can put it in their nest. Maybe I will stuff some kind of plushie with it, or, you know, something of that nature. I don't know. I just put it in a jar, and then maybe I'll give this to the birds. I've been feeding the birds lately, and, you know, they bring joy. So anyway, pick it apart. I will rip back this color. This is the cuff. I will rip back this color, and I will rip back this color. I am not able to use the yarn that I ripped back because it is so kinky. Can I say that? It is so full of memory. And you see? I mean, look at that. So pretty. As you can see, this has been sitting in the bag for about, I think I undid this around Thursday last week. And it took me a while to undo and then redo. And I spent, did I do it Saturday? It took me all day. That's all I remember. So this is what I had left from undoing the main color, and this is what I had left from undoing the color change. So I will be able to use this yarn again in the future for whatever, but it's just going in my bag for now. And I am surrounded by animals. My dog is on the floor. My cats are stalking me because they smell the yarn and they like the yarn. And you see Tallulah? Tallulah! Anya's down here. Nellie's over there. All right, so let me think here. Also, once I get back to the main color, each of these stripes are 8 rounds. I go to round 4, pick up the stitches and knit around. And then on round 6 and round 8, I decrease 2 stitches per those rows. So round 6, decrease 2, do a round 7, decrease 2 on round 8, and start the ribbing. And I am happy to say I did not weave in the ends because I didn't want to make the same mistake as I did last time of doing the wrong cuff. But as you can see, you can kind of see where I started up again, right there. I think it'll become more, less noticeable as time goes on. And you can't, I'm looking in my camera. It's not too bad. Anyway, I did the same amount of rounds for the cuff as I did before, and now instead of, the pattern calls for 70 stitches around the cuff for my size, and I did 74. It's a little loose even still. I probably could have done 70 and still had a looser cuff, but needless to say, that's where it's staying at. Watch, I change again. But yes, the return of the stripe pipe. Oof, I'm playing with fire. The arm, it just made me look so droopy, sloppy, unhappy. You put all this work into a garment and you want it to look nice and you want to look, you want to look special because you've put so much time and love and energy into a special garment. So that will get fixed and then I will wear it more often. And I did wet block the sleeve, so that is done. And then when I do the second sleeve, I'll just wet block that part of the sleeve. I didn't want to wet block the whole sweater because it just takes forever for it to get dry. Let's see, did I do it all? Okay, now I'm going to talk about 2 whips and then I'm going to talk about some sewing stuff. The first whip I'm going to talk about is the Ranunculus. I will put up information or the picture, the usual. I have been using my Knit Picks Upcycle Alpaca yarn, not sponsored or affiliated. It has given me this very loose, it's very stretchy. I am doing size 1 of the Ranunculus pattern. The color is Seashell. When I got this pattern, I got it years ago because, I really wanted to make it and I was intimidated. I was intimidated when you see these people, these ladies here wearing it, and then you see how much, positive ease there is, and then you watch videos of people making it and you're wondering how they did it, and then you read some of the stuff and it seems kind of confusing. It really isn't. Just take your time. Recently, and I mean like this past week, I got to the raglan section and I did the raglan stuff. That was fine. Easy peasy. Did it. Done. Voila. And then you get to section 5, split for the body and sleeves. And then they say something like, if you want short sleeves, do this easy bind off. But if you want a little bit of length, you know, knit to the length you want using the long sleeve pattern. So I opted to do the long sleeve pattern, and I swear I read these instructions probably 10 to 20 times since I've had this pattern for years, and I never understood it. I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? I even read it again probably another 5 times before actually doing it, and it was like, this sounds extremely difficult. Why is it so difficult? And then I just had to let it ruminate in my mind. Ruminate. Like, you know, when you're making spaghetti sauce, for example, I am part Italian. When you make spaghetti sauce, it tastes good when you first make it. You're like, yeah, it tastes good. But when you stick it in the fridge and let it sit overnight and then warm it up again the next day, so much better. So much better. So that's what I did with this. I thought, I'm just going to sit on this. I'm just going to think about it. I'm going to let it ruminate. I'm going to figure this out. It'll be fine. I will figure it out. If I don't like the cable cast on method, I can do something else. And then I looked at Purl Sew because I didn't want to watch a video and watch someone explain it for like 10 minutes. I just didn't have that kind of time on this day that I was working on it. I just wanted to read something and look at something. Could I have looked at my Vogue knitting book? Yes. Did I think it was too hard to get out from underneath the stack of books underneath my TV? I sure did. So I got on my phone and I put in cable cast on Purl Soho, which they sell yarn and they have patterns, etc. They had a nice little tutorial with pictures. And I could look at that and know what they meant, and I did it. And I was like, well, that was really easy. Why was that giving me such a hard time in my mind? I do not know. So I am presently working, what's this here? I am presently working on the body. It feels very wonky right now. There. I am presently working on the body of the Ranunculus. I have my tried-on tubing right here. I am still using the same needles. I just opted for a larger cable size. I do not know how long I want this. I'm thinking of pairing this top with a sundress I have that I don't wear because even though it fits me, it doesn't fit me. It's like too gapey in this area, and when I try to put on like t-shirts underneath it, it looks not so nice. So my thought is maybe making this a crop length, and then I can pair it with like an empire waist dress. It's a possibility. The yarn is a mixture of alpaca, wool, and acrylic, all about the same amount, and it is a sport weight. Let's do this. Has a nice twist. It's a really, really nice, it's really nice yarn. Not all of the skeins are soft. I've learned that. Some are softer than others, and I just think it has to do with the leftover bits of wool or whatever they used to put this together. There is a bit of a prickle factor. That's why I want to use this as an outer garment more than like next to skin. Plus with all the holes and stuff, if I wore this to school per se, I would have to wear something underneath it because I don't want, you know, little kids seeing stuff they shouldn't see. So let's see here. Yep, that's about it. So I don't think Knit Picks carries this sport weight of the upcycle alpaca, and they may have done away with the upcycle alpaca altogether. I am not sure. I haven't looked at it for a while, but I got mine when it was on sale many moons ago. All right, now the next thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm hoping to put some B-roll footage in there too because it is so pretty. I have been working on this colorwork sweater for a while. Not a year, but for a good long time. And I'm also using Upcycle Alpaca yarn, Sapphire and Sea Glass. And I am making the Finley. The Finley is from, hold on, I'm just going to show a picture. Show it first. Oh, look how pretty. Look how pretty those motifs are. Now that's striking. I love it. Okay, I have plenty of sapphire and enough sea glass for this project. And yeah, I can show you this. This is what it's going to look like. You can see that this is the front and that's the back of the German short rows. And I didn't cover this up so I wouldn't show the pattern. This is how I read the pattern. I use Post-its and then I just show the line that I'm working on. It helps me not get confused with where I'm at, what I'm looking at, what I'm doing. This is what the sweater will look like, but in different colors, sea glass and sapphire. I am doing, what size am I doing? I am doing the, let me think. See, they have this book is awesome. Only Yoking by Olga Putano. I love it. I've made one other sweater out of here. I believe I'm doing the 5th size. Only Yoking. Now, I switched out the, can you see? I switched out the markers to something I could see, because when I was working on this the other night, I couldn't even see where the markers were because it was too dark in my house. The markers were too dark and whatnot. So I have all the sections sectioned off and I'm just following along. I did about an inch worth of work since the last time I showed it. There's my marker. Hello, marker. I am getting about halfway done with the color work part. You do the whole color work and then you split for sleeves and then it's just knitting in the round. And although sometimes I don't like knitting in the round per se because, you know, hand tiring and whatever, I think it'll be nice to do, because I've been wanting to just like decompress, think about things, but not really think about things. And the thing about this yarn is that it doesn't split. Once you start working with it, it just kind of, it's such a nice twist, it doesn't split. I'm using my, Knitter's Pride old version, wood needles, US 5 or 3.75 millimeter. They work really well with this yarn. They have, you know, a nice little tip. I don't know what they would be like now that Knit Pro has changed a little bit, but these are nice. I got these needles probably 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago. They're nice. So this is the back. You do German short rows back here, and then this is the front. So pretty. So pretty. So that is that. Working along. My cat is watching me. She's hoping I make mistakes and let my yarn sit out. Now, the last thing I'm going to discuss today is something I have been working on for the past 3 summers. And there's also other parts to it. So 3 summers ago, was it 3 summers ago or was it 4 summers ago? I was working summer school. I remember coming home and being really hot and tired and exhausted. And I wanted to sew really, really bad. And I also wanted to embroider really, really bad. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take these pieces of, I don't want to show too much right now, these blocks here. During the time that we were all at home, I made a lot of face masks. And my daughter never slept in her crib when she was a baby. And these are some of her crib sheets. So I thought, 100% cotton, I already have the fabric, I will help my family and friends and make a whole bunch of face masks. Well, I really went to town. I made a cardboard template and I traced it all out and I cut them all out, and I just was like, yeah, if I get it all cut out, then I could just make more. I cut way too many, and then I had all these, these blocks of pink and white, and there's some others, but I just chose pink and white for this. Now my daughter also has, I was going to make her a bag as well, but something changed with the way I made hers, and it wouldn't work out per se as a bag, or she wouldn't use it, or I mean, she's just gotten to that age of where, I said, well, should I make it into a memory quilt? And so I'm still debating, do I make her a bag or do I make her a memory quilt? So when I would come home from school, I would work on a motif. I just, copied, what do you call it? I have a transfer book. I can't remember whose the name of it is. I'll show a picture of it. And then I just traced over the design to keep the design fresh so I could have it again for a different project. So I just made these little motifs. So pretty. And then I did these. I had a lot of fun. This is really thick. I'm just going to say, there's a lot of yarn or thread in here and a lot of thread in here. So cute though. So I started with that. I had sewed all these pieces together. I thought, you know what, I'll just do this part first and it'll make it go so much faster. I made a place for the drawstring. I worked on this nonstop. Then school started. Shoved it away. And then it sat. And I may have worked on my daughters and finished this up the next summer or something like that. And then last summer, I was really trying to get it going and figuring it out, and I just let it sit for too long, and then school started again. So this summer, I'm like, this is going off of my list, period. It was not easy. I was trying to find the fabric to go on the inside, and I have like a lot of thrift store finds or remnants of other projects, but nothing really seemed to match. And then I thought, well, maybe I should just use the green sheet from my daughter's crib collection that she never used, but all you could see was the green coming through it. And then I had the silky fabric that I got from a thrift store, and it just wasn't what I was looking for. And then I was, organizing and fixing and organizing and fixing, and I was really, really purging some stuff that I didn't need anymore. And I was going through stuff, and I found this mock-up muslin that I used for a different dress that really does not look good on me. That's why you can see the pen marks on here. But there was enough fabric at the bottom for me to cover it. Now, this is all 100% cotton except for the batting. The batting is, I believe, polyester. I got it on sale at Walmart when they were clearancing it out, and I thought, yeah, I'm just going to use this, and then I'm just going to do that. It took a while. This was not a fast process. Last night, I decided to trim the polyester and then wrap the cotton around it. And I just pinned it. And then, or maybe I sewed it last. When did I sew this? Okay, I'm thinking. On Saturday, I sold a lot. On Friday, I sold a lot. So on Saturday, I was redeeming myself because I had a big flop on Friday, and I felt like I wasted an entirety of my life. And I wanted to get the batting attached to this front and the inside. So I sewed around the perimeter just to hold it in place. That's what I was thinking. That wasn't the best idea. I have learned a lot with this project. Let's see here. For example, I sewed right over my motifs, which I didn't mean to do. I now know why you let everything, you pin it, you use big safety pins, quilting pins they're called, and you pin it together because the fabric shifts and moves, and you do get some bunching because I had already sewed this area. It's a bag. It's my project bag. It was something I had to do to learn. So I turned this under, I sewed it down this morning, and then I sewed, I wonder if you could see it better this way. I sewed cross paneling, so it would like kind of quilty, kind of not. I didn't do too much. I was like, I'm kind of done with this project and I just want it to be done, and this will hold it together. As you can see, I sewed here and I sewed here, but I didn't sew here, and I sewed it like this because I didn't really want to go over the motifs. That was my thought. So then I sewed up the sides, trimmed the sides, added some twill tape for my drawstrings. Is that the right choice? I don't know. We'll see how it goes, because when I did it, it became really hard to undo it. I didn't really clip my corners too much because this is a project bag. This is going to be like, I'm working on something. I don't want it to get dirty. I mean, it does close. The kitty has told me she likes these a lot, so that's something to be worried about. I don't want her to eat string. As you can see, it does open, but it is a little difficult. So here is my project bag. 3 to 4 years in the making. It is really cute. And it feels good to the hand. And it folds nicely. I just had to do it my way. At the time that I started this project, 3-4 years ago, I didn't own any bag patterns, or I didn't have any bag tutorials like in mine. I haven't watched really anything on YouTube. I've been watching YouTube consistently now, and I'm really excited, and I have a lot of ideas and a lot of projects in mind with my sewing machine. Now, on Friday, I wanted to make another nightgown, but I wanted to make it longer, but using the same pattern I modeled after one of my maternity nightgowns from way back when, because it's so comfortable. It is just such a comfortable nightgown, and I thought, you know, I'm going to do it. So this is the fixed version. This is the fixed version. Do I have it? I haven't even trimmed off the threads. I just finished this right before I started filming. It's in this very pretty butter yellow. So the maternity one has a V-neck, but you would be able to open in the front for nursing. And this one does not. And it also comes up a little higher. I have not hemmed the bottom yet. This fabric, although it feels so soft, and putting it on, it feels so nice, is a pain in my keister to work with. Oh my God. I'm glad it's for me. I got this fabric. As you can see, this is a little different in color tone. You can kind of see that this is a little darker. I originally saw this big one at Goodwill, by my house. And it was like, it was wrapped up with tape like this. And I'm like, ooh, I like the way that feels. That feels nice. I'm gonna get this. And then I found 2 more similar, wrapped up in different sizes of, you know, quantity. You can tell by the way it felt and heaviness, that I'm like, well, I think I spent $10 to $15 in total. I think it was closer to 10. You know, I remember getting some other things, and maybe that's why it was closer to 15, but about 10 bucks on this fabric. Now, when I unrolled it, I was like, yeah, I got a lot of fabric here. I'm going to show you. It's like that magician trick where it never ends. The scarves never end. They're just forever. I was like, oh my gosh, I got so much fabric. And then I realized that I've never seen fabric like this. It's in a tube. It's in a tube. There's no seams. It's not seamed at all. Throughout the whole thing, it's just in a tube. Can someone please explain to me what this was originally for? I mean, I don't even know. So it's in this tube all the way down. There's no seams whatsoever. So I thought, you know, I thought when I put this up on my hand, I thought, you know, you can kind of see your body through it. And I kind of want a more opaque nightgown. So I'm going to make it in the doubled up fabric. So I traced out my pattern and I gave myself a really large seam allowance. So glad I did that. It was like I foresaw the problem that was arising. And so I cut it all out and I sewed it all up, and it was like I had it in 2 pieces. It took me forever on Friday. Nothing was going right. My tension on my machine was wrong. I haven't sewed with my machine in forever. I was just having mistake after mistake after mistake. So I sewed the front top, the bodice part up, and I had sewed the bottom, and I had 2 panels that I was sewing together. So imagine 2 panels like doubled up. And after I did all that, I picked it up and I'm like, it's so heavy. Do I want to wear something this heavy? I mean, it just felt like, it felt like wearing, it just felt so heavy. I don't even know how many pounds it was. I want to say it felt like wearing 50 pounds, but that is a lie. That is an exaggeration. But it felt too heavy to be a nightgown. My machine hated it. I hated it. I had wasted so much time, so much energy, my energy, electricity energy. I was really getting down on myself. I'm like, ugh, you know, maybe I should just follow a pattern instead of trying to figure this all out on my own. So I quit for the night on Friday, and we started watching, I don't know if we watched a movie on Friday, but we did watch a movie on Saturday. And I turned it inside out, and I decided, you know what? I'm gonna take it all apart. I'm gonna take the whole thing apart, and I'm gonna make 2 nightgowns, one for myself and one for my daughter. And I didn't even seam rip it because I used white thread, which you can barely see, and a zigzag stitch to give it some elasticity. So I just went and I cut the whole thing apart. Thankfully, I did enough seam allowance from the get-go, so then I was able to, and I did this Saturday and Sunday? No, I didn't sew Sunday. Saturday and today. As you can see my pen mark here, I even had more seam allowance on that side. All right, now foreseeing the problems. So I sewed up the bodice and the skirt on Saturday. I'm pretty sure. And then we watched a movie. 27 Dresses came out in 2008. It was cute. You know. Anyway, today I sewed the skirt and the bodice together. It was a pain in my butt. This fabric wants to stay with itself. It rolls into itself. You're trying to sew a flat area and you're trying to make it all flat, and somehow it like just catches and whatever. You have to be really, really mindful. But I did turn over the edges. I'm not even doing any facing. It's a nightgown. I reinforced the thinner areas quite a bit. It's a nightgown. And I'm really just learning my machine again, to be perfectly honest. Did my machine hate it? It sure did. It does not like it. My needle might be a little dull, especially after this project and other projects. So yeah, I have no idea where this fabric came from. I have no idea what it's made out of. It feels cottony, but it also feels like, you know, stretch cotton. So, was it worth it? Was all that time, energy, and frustration worth it? In the end, yes. All the frustrations that we have with our projects, whether we make it and don't realize that the arm is going to be too long and have to rip back, whether we make something and it doesn't fit exactly how we thought it was going to, it's all worth it because it teaches you so much. I have had my sewing machine for a good 10 years, and today was the first time I realized how to get onto the other decorative stitches. I have allowed fear to hold me back for far too long, and that is changing. So on that fun note, I would just like to say thanks again for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking my videos. I truly appreciate it. I have a lot of fun showing my stuff. I hope that you can learn from me, and I hope that you have tips that you can share as well with me and others. That is one of the best things about YouTube, is that we can learn from one another, from our mistakes, from our successes, from just the tutorials that I have watched. I have learned so much. Yep. Alrighty. I hope you're all doing well. Stay cool, stay warm, and stay having fun. That doesn't make any sense. I was looking outside as someone was walking by. Okay, stay cool, stay warm, wherever you are. Take care, have fun. Bye for now.